I worked at a big pizza chain for almost a year at this point, so I was aware of a lot of the dangers of the job. Robberies, drunken morons, naked people, etc. But this instance really made it sink in. A girl had been reported missing in our area under super suspicious circumstances. It was a big deal in a relatively small town where things like that don't happen super frequently. It was all over the news. Billboards were being put up. The whole shebang. We had state cops, other county cops, and federal investigators all in town to help. A few weeks after the initial report, they announced an arrest. They had the guy dead to rights, no question that he was the one who did it. When I got to work that day, someone asked me if I had seen the announcement. I hadn't yet, so I pulled up the news article on my phone. Holy frick. I know that name. I know that address. I know that face. A month or so prior, I had delivered to this guy. His complex apartment was a few blocks down the road. To add to the creep factor, this dude lived in a complex with several buildings where each one had a locked door to get into the building. It's full of young kids that are almost always drunk and ignorant when they order, and I'd had issues there before. Due to that, I made a point to always have customers come and meet me at the main door, as opposed to being buzzed in and going to their unit door. Usually it wasn't a huge deal, but this dude really tried to press the issue and had several excuses to why he couldn't come down and I needed to come up. Each one was met with, company policy doesn't allow me to do that, until he finally caved and came down. He was less than enthused, but paid for his pizza, and I went about my way. As a female, and given that this happened within a few weeks of him kidnapping and killing the other girl, I am so immensely grateful for all the drunken morons that caused me to stop going inside of the buildings at this complex. I've been a pizza delivery driver for several years, and today is the first day I legitimately feel ashamed of doing what I do. This story may not seem like a huge deal to some people, since it's probably more of me being socially inept when it comes to a big audience and being recorded and not being comfortable with my singing voice. Since I was a kid, I've always been pretty shy. Even amongst close friends, I'm somewhat quiet. And I am absolutely terrible speaking in front of large crowds. I remember in high school having nightmares for weeks about having to do an upcoming presentation, and I would be dreading doing it every day until the day of. Not only that, but I'm a terrible singer, and I know it. I don't even feel comfortable singing in front of friends and family. Which brings me to the actual story. I had a delivery today with a note written in the special instructions section that said, "Sing a Christmas carol for a tip." I didn't really take it all that seriously, and figured they were just joking. And if they weren't, I thought of a corny line to say while driving there to hopefully satisfy them if they were serious. So I show up, and it's some kind of small party going on. There's probably roughly 10 to 15 teenagers gathered around in the living room, and the mom comes to the door and takes the pizzas. There were 6 larges, as I gave her the receipt to sign. She then looks at me with a smile and goes, "So did they tell you?" Oh, the note? Yeah, I saw that. But trust me, you don't want to hear me sing. Oh, come on, you have to. She then ushers me inside and closes the door behind me. All of the people there are watching me and already have their phones out recording me. I instantly get uncomfortable and want to leave as quickly as possible. An audience is one thing, but being recorded by multiple people would instantly make me feel anxious. Well, go on. Sing. No, really, I'm a terrible singer. I'm sure I'll ruin your Christmas. Christmas is still several weeks away. I have no idea why they wanted a Christmas Carol so bad. Oh, come on! I'll make it worth your while, she said as she waved a 20 and a 5 in front of me. I continued to insist on being a terrible singer and not being comfortable with it, but she kept pushing. Eventually, I decided to try my corny line and hoped it would satisfy them. So I just said, okay, how about rub-a-dub-dub, I brought you some grub. Which was corny as frick, and holy heck, so cringy to say, it made me feel infinitely more uncomfortable. Obviously no one laughed, and she went, no, it has to be a Christmas Carol. I insisted more about not wanting to sing and was starting to get seriously ticked off and uncomfortable that she wasn't taking no for an answer, and she kept waving the money in front of my face to encourage me. So I finally just said, look, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sing for money. She looked at me incredulously for a second and went, wow, it was only for fun, you know. Well, you're definitely not getting this then, she said as she pulled the 20 away and only gave me the 5 and the receipt she had signed. I said thank you and quickly left, while I heard several comments behind me from everyone else like, wow, is he serious? What a dick. Ugh, gross. What the frick this even means? I have no idea. Disgusted she didn't hear a Christmas Carol, I guess. Wow, did he really have to make us feel so bad? So yeah, it's just being pressured to sing, which I guess should just be fun, but I've never felt so used and humiliated while working here. I legitimately feel ashamed to be working a minimum wage job now, and truly feel like I'm on the lowest rung of the ladder in society. I was just a tool for their entertainment that they thought would jump at the chance to make a fool of myself for an extra $20. I'm a pizza delivery driver, not a frickin' performer. About a year ago, I was delivering for a pizza place, and I had to deliver about 20 pizzas for a last-minute order during a football night in town. I was already annoyed because they made me help make it even though we had plenty of people in the kitchen, and 3 other deliveries that needed to be taken as well. I knew my way around the kitchen, but had no clue how to portion properly because, not my job. But I guess I made the 5 specialty ones wrong, and they had to be remade, which was another 20 minutes because we were very busy. Well, those 20 minutes turned into almost 2 hours because I was needed here. Okay, don't blame me when we get angry calls. After a bit, I was finally free to do my actual job and deliver the pizzas. After all this hassle and my stressing about angry people, I saw a whopping $3 tip on the ticket and a 20-minute drive on my phone. Needless to say, I used some fun words on the road that day. One 20-minute drive later, I pulled up to a house with about 8 cars parked in the already small driveway and in the yard. As I was carrying the first of 2 large bags to the door, suddenly, a wild frat boy popped up from a truck bed, similar to how the WWE wrestler Undertaker would sometimes get up, if that helps anyone visualize. Undertaker got up, hopped out very excitedly, and walked up to me. "I'll help." In hindsight, letting a clearly drunk man carry 10 pizzas 50 feet wasn't a good idea, but $3 doesn't get my full effort. I went to my car, grabbed the second bag, and the receipt to get the company-mandated signature and headed up. Who answered the door? That's right, another company's driver. We shared a glance before he helped me set my pizzas up in the kitchen area. Undertaker came in. "Pizza man and pizza dude." He was followed by about 30 people who basically just kept tipping us like it was a cover charge at a bar. Pizza Man and I went our separate ways, with free drinks and a good amount of cash as a prize. I still think about frat boy Undertaker sometimes. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a marvelous day. Stay humble. Stay grateful.